Howdy y'all, this is AR Cavley. Welcome back to my channel. And after some very busy weeks and weekends with kids graduating and people running all over the place, we're now going to get into the next adventure of Shank and Rizzo. Where we left off last time, I actually had to kind of remind myself they were just in the office. The chief was kind of chewing them out because they had made a big scene, and NYPD called the chief to let them know that the person they had captured had his head blown off while in custody, and the little biohazard doodad that had caused all the ruckus down at the building was missing, and that it was going to be a long night of them typing reports and answering phone calls. So as they are, of course, it's the marshal's office and it's New York City, so there are people here kind of all the time anyway. Um, Probably not as busy as maybe the NYPD, of course, being a smaller official group in the area, a smaller government group in the area. But as they're typing, and now that as time goes on and they start to settle down and have those thoughts alone after the incident, figure it might be a good time to have a reaction roll. Let's see what let's use Rizzo. Let's see what Robert Rizzo does. Oh, he's got a terrible social. Yep. So I guess in this case, it probably will represent the fact that he's just not used to this kind of stress. He's good on the job, but he's essentially a programmer. Although a decent shot. All right, so not great. He failed it by a lot. Um, so we're going to come over to our reaction table. He is As he's sitting there, he's trying to type his work. He's trying to type his work up, trying to remember everything that went on because this is really kind of the first real high stress, non training situation that he's been in, and he realizes his hands are starting to shake and it's getting hard to type up the results. So let's see, using our table here in Hostile Solo, let's see how that manifests itself. 3, loses his temper. All right, so he's going to lose his temper. I don't think he's going to lose his temper right away because right now he's trying to keep his stuff. But as people start coming into the office, as the sun slowly starts rising through the hazy, mucky New York City skyline, the day shift people are starting to wander in. And who should wander in but this is going to be one of our conflict people. Let's generate a random person. Kathy Gabbert. And she, of course, she's going to come in, and she's senior enough that she's been on the job long enough, and she's not she's not going to let any scowls, especially from these off-worlder shitheads, give her any pause. And she's going to come in and immediately walk over to the coffee machine, grinning, sidelong grinning at both of them, shaking her head, and she pours herself some coffee and walks over and sits on uh, Shank's desk. Why, Skank, you're so famous this morning. I You must be bucking for a promotion because you are all over the vids, man. And Shank, used to being called Skank by his uh, co-workers, because they're kind of cop type, that kind of cop slash military slash type people, and that's what they do. Yeah, I was hoping you were gonna go, but I guess your curlers were still in or something. You're so funny. Who's your new kid over here? I'm not a kid. So you really, I mean, you got like the whole city on lockdown. That's impressive. I'm sure. I'm sure the boss lady had a lot to say to you. Look, will you just get off our backs? Shut up. Go back into your office. Pretend like you're doing work so we can finish typing up. It's been a long night. And then Rizzo pops up. And this is where he loses his temper and he starts screaming. He's like, "Why don't you shut up? You weren't even there, okay? This is my first time on anything like this. What are we supposed to do?" And he just starts ranting and raving at her. Shank, knowing that Rizzo allowing to get his buttons pushed is the worst thing he could do in this kind of workplace, and he's trying to calm him down. But as he's trying to make those placating type motions, and look, hey kid, come on, I'm not a kid. Ooh, you got a live wire, Skank. And oh, what's her name? Kathy is she's laughing, she's carrying on, she's just oh yeah, she's trying to egg him on. And finally the chief comes out, Chief Jones, Dana. Dana comes out of her office and says, "What in the hell is going on, Rizzo?" And he can't stop. He starts yelling at her now. And Shank is like, "Look, kid, stop. Shut your effing mouth right now. All right? Just shut up." And Dana brings Rizzo back into her office, slams the door, and the two terrible with names in real life and in game. uh, Kathy and Shank are left listening to the muffled screams now that Dana is tearing into Rizzo for his outburst. Look, can you just cut the kid some slack? It is. I mean, literally yesterday he was in the computer office. That's all he was doing. And then all of a sudden, he gets out. He's actually in a fight. He gets some action going on, and then now he's in the middle of this big BS kerfluffle. Oh, I know, man. Just cry me a river, Shank. Because I'm thinking back a couple years ago when I was kind of new to this office, and when I tried to arrest that secretary, that assistant secretary, I don't remember a lot of mercy coming from you, Shank. All right, look, I was wrong. Yeah, you were wrong, and I'm just going to enjoy. I'm going to bask in the moment, and I'm going to enjoy every asteroid you get. All right. But look, if you do need some help, just let me know. You need me to go check something out, but no mercy. And she chuckles and she goes off into uh, her office, her little corner of the workroom. Shank thinks about having a cigarette, curls his fists, and gets back to work. So now we've resolved a bad reaction scene. Rizzo comes out looking dejected and almost looking like he's maybe about to cry. And Shank does not want the kid crying like on his second day on the job out of the computer lab. So he tries to go very he handles the kid with kid gloves. He gets up. He gets coffee for him and the kid. All right, so you got all your report typed up? Yeah, I think as much as I can. It's weird. I try to think about it. Just happened, and I try to think about it, and I can hardly remember any of the details, man. It was just I don't know. Everything's just so blurry now, and it didn't happen but a couple hours ago. That's normal. Don't worry about it. All right. I think it's probably time for us to go check out the scene. NYPD said we're. I got a message from them just a minute ago saying we're good to go investigate the scene. I don't know what we'll find there, but anything that any kind of useful clue they've probably already gathered up, but hopefully they've left it for us. So let's go. All right, let's see. Okay, ground vehicle. Oh, come on. Uh-oh. Looks like Justin L. Shank's computer records got deleted by some cyber terrorist. That's not good. Hmm. All right. Well, they make their way up to a marshaled to a government spinner, and they get flown over or fly, probably flown by someone else. I was trying to see if Shank had pilot, but I think they both have ground vehicle. But it's the ground traffic is so terrible and dangerous. Anywhere anywhere below, say, floor 20 is a danger zone in New York City. So they go up to the top to the landing pad. They open their they open the elevator and they get to the duty spinner, the duty car, flying car equivalent. They hop in and he punches in the address to the NYPD precinct where the murder happened. It lifts off. Purge, purge. Try to do some of my uh, Blade Runner, Blade Runner type sound effects. But for your sake, I'll stop now. And it flies off into the hazy morning. Shank takes out a small pill, gives it to Rizzo. Says, "We got a long day. You take one of these." What is that? It's a stim. Look, it's department approved. Once a day. Just trust me, you're gonna need it. And if you don't need it, then fine. It's the the vigors of youth that you still enjoy. But this old sucker, he needs one, and he pops one in just to like a extreme caffeine pill kind of thing. I'm gonna see if I can get my character sheet back. All right. Well, fortunately, all I had to do was reload, reload the page, so we got his stuff back, and no, he does not. It doesn't even look like he's really that great of a driver either. All right, so there's my little backdrop of uh, well, modern New York City. Add some haze and some flying cars and um, big advertisements. As a matter of fact, let's go take a look. We have a just so I can use it. We actually have a an advertising table here. So as they're flying through on their way to the NYPD. Let's see. They have a where's it? Oh, corporate advertising. All right. So as they're flying along and they pass a big, Blade Runner type billboard that flashes with an ad for Hiroshi Banking and Trusts. Rizzo leans over, he looks out the window and says, my granddad, he stands by Hiroshi Banking. Oh yeah, he'll go on and on about his portfolio, hours on end. Huh. And then they touch down at the top of the NYPD precinct, and at greeting them is our not really a contact, but his name was London, I think. Yeah, Gary London, the NYPD detective who had come over and taken the case from the building from the earlier episode. It's about time you guys got here. Why are you even here? I thought you would have washed your hands of this case as soon as you could. I tried, let me tell you. Nope, nope, no one else wants to touch it. So you've got me along for the ride on this one. Thanks, pal. That was great of you. Yeah, I was just thinking how I should have retired this morning. Oh well, let's go. So, I mean, what the hell happened, man? How does somebody get in there and waste somebody like that? Well, normally, yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes with the, uh, you know, you get crooked cops and some rich old gangbanger or corpo wants somebody off. It happens, but uh, not like this. Very, very rare. And then those guys, those dumbasses, they always get caught because they're stupid. But whoever did this, they were not stupid. All right, we've got. All right, let's see. Do they have? Obviously, a place like this is going to have cameras all throughout. Does the did the perpetrator count on disguise to get through? Because it is the future, but it's kind of retro future, so a full on Minority Report type of biomonitoring I don't think is in play just yet. Um, so I'm gonna say on a 5 or a 6. So there was some kind of hacking that went on, and so the computers or the cameras were turned off as they went through. On a 1 through 4, it's some kind of disguise. All right, a 2. The This guy walked in. He was dressed like a duty cop, but I tell you, we went through all the access logs, and it's all fake. He had some kind of spoof to get in, and then he just walked around. He walked right in. He knew the place, which isn't too hard because anyone can look up the lines on the web. But and then he walked right back out. What about the? I mean, isn't there someone usually on watch? Yeah, he got himself taken out with a. Uh, he's still recovering. It was some kind of nerve toxin, not deadly, but something the lab boy says is a you know, real high level kind of military grade stuff. You touch it and you go, you just collapse and your eyes are rolling. Ultimately harmless in the end, but there's nothing to do about it. They'll probably turn it into some kind of street drug here. Shank nods and they go into the room. The room itself is a holding cell. Most of the people that in this Shank knows this, but most of the people who get locked up for your petty crimes, your night shift bar fights, whatever, they get taken down uh, to the city lockup. It's its own little larger facility. The precinct holding cell is mostly for people who are going to be interrogated and whatnot. So why'd you bring him here and not down to the city lockup? Well, the mostly from the boss man, and I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want him to get out on some kind of weird technicality or some freaking uh, jail jockey pushes the wrong button and lets him out. So then whoever it was knew you took him here. Yeah, I guess that's so. I've been thinking about that, but no clues. Most of the people that were with us that night, they, I know most of them. What about all the people who came in afterwards? All the friendly medical examiners. Look, I'm sorry, all right? I had to go through the same stuff you did, okay? I didn't enjoy any pokes or prods any more than you did. Um, we haven't gotten around to pulling those people to look into see if any of those might have had contact. Have you got any kind of idea about this guy? No, he had a professional makeup kit on. We've run the face. We've got the close ups right over here. And as they're talking, they come out of the elevator and they pass a little work area with a bunch of detectives on the phone. Um, Dozens of conversations at these desks going on, and he pulls up the screen on his terminal, and there's a picture, and they do have some kind of facial recognition software and things of that nature. But and this guy comes up as a blank. There's no telling. But I can tell by those cheekbones they're put on there. I mean, they're close, but I've been doing this a while, and sometimes when you're trying to spoof those bioscanners, you exaggerate things a little bit. Doesn't know what to do. While you're here, can you go ahead and show me the film? Yeah, here you go. And he clicks again. And he shows the footage. Um, you can't see it from this angle, but just outside the door, he's about to walk in. That's where the guard. He just like touches him on the shoulder, like like hey, buddy, and the guy just collapses. Yeah, here he is. It shows the guy. He doesn't look up at the camera, but the way when he's walking in, he gets a good shot. He walks around. Does the guy that's about to get shot, does he recognize him? I'm gonna say a 5 or 6. The guy recognizes him, possibly, and so maybe part of the same organization or same family of scumballs that they run around. 5 or 6. Does he recognize him? No. Doesn't mean they're not related. He just didn't recognize him as front. So the guy who's in the cell, the one that Rizzo tased, who he's Rizzo's still pretty happy about that. That was his first kind of fight, and yeah, that's the one that tried to shank you, Shank. And Shank, of course, laughs, har har, like he hasn't heard it his entire career. All the Shank jokes and skank jokes, and the guy's not even looking up. Like he's just kind of zoned out. He's in prison. He's just waiting for whatever's going to happen. The other cop or the guy in disguise comes up and he just pulls out a gun, and it has a silencer on it already. It's not like the duty pistol that he's wearing at his belt. Something he pulls out from under his shirt, and the guy in the cell doesn't even see it. Just blood splatters in the back, and the guy falls on his face. The guy shoves the pistol back, turns around, and walks out. And see, that's something else. He wrote Detective London rolls it back, and as this fake cop is walking out, he says, "You see that badge right there? Yeah, that's a service badge, but he's wearing it in the wrong place." Not everybody, yeah, I mean, not everybody really cares about, too many of the rules along things like that, but it's kind of a uniform violation. Nothing big, nothing I would call anybody out on, but just another point that leads me to be pretty sure this guy ain't real. Did you have any fingerprints or anything like that? No, nothing. I mean, nothing that we saw him touch that a million other freaking uh, cops didn't touch. Shell casing. See, would there be a shell casing? As an automatic pistol, he fired twice, so it should at least give one casing. I'm gonna say the guy probably caught them though. 4, 5, or 6. There's no shell casings. All right. So there's no shell casing. We'll run the back, and this is where he picks up the shell casings. So, um, are you able to get anything and any zoom in on like the weapon or anything? Nothing that we can find. All right. So they go and they examine the room. The body's been taken out. The blood splatter. They don't really find anything in here. Um, so Shank is going to get the download of the film. He looks around. There's really nothing. So it's kind of a dead end at this point. What he needs to do is look, see if he can find out anything from cameras, the other film, and uh, can you go ahead and forward us all the film you have? We can get the outside stuff, but whatever you got walking in. Yeah, we got it all. We've gone over it with a fine tooth comb, but you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to take everything. All right, now what about the that little bio tube? Now that we sent down to the lab, they say they never made it. Who who'd you send it with? We sent it with one of our guys. I know him well. He popped out. We see that there's uh he says he dropped it off. The night shift person there says no one came by. We're trying to get the film. So maybe you can get the film and see what happened there. Oh, let's see. So did the guy drop uh, the sample off like he was supposed to? Actually, I guess it wouldn't have, because there was the hazmat suit guys. Um, Instead of them dropping it off to the lab, they would have given it to the hazmat guys there. So rewind back. Look, I gave it to I gave it to one of the eggheads that came in the suits. Here's I got his card just to make sure. Uh, Here's his card. I'm gonna keep this copy. Thank you. Uh, Shank writes down the info from the card, and so that's 2. So right now, after investigating, they've got 2 things. We're gonna try to analyze the video footage, see if there's anything there, and then we're gonna go talk to the guy who supposedly took the biosample, took custody of the biosample. They thank Detective London for his help. They spent some time asking a few questions from other people who were around, who were involved. Um, but they don't get anything useful from them, and it's not a matter of hostility. No one really knows what happened. Basically, it was one of those things where the guy just walked in and walked out, and they got. Um, oh, they also have the investigating the guy himself. So that they had the files already for. So investigating the guy who got shot in the cell, investigating the footage, and this is why I would not be a good detective. I forget. I forget. Oh, and the interview. They have to go interview the guy who took custody of that. So I'm going to write those things down before I forget again, because I guess I'm going to. All right. Let's see. I'll put these under GM notes because they're more immediate things. So steps. Let's see. Investigate the hazmat guy who took custody. Custody. Analyze film footage. And then investigate the murderer slash victim. All right, kid, what do you want to do? Should we go talk to the chemical guy? The chemical guy? Should we go talk to the go find out about the murder or analyze the footage? What do you want to do? I want to go home and go to sleep. Well, I agree with you there. However, this day is not over. Um, let's head back, I guess, and look at the footage. I'm fine with that. I can't think that one's any better than the other at this point. Just starting off, just wanted to see how you would pick. So let's go. So they get back into the spinner. It takes off, heads back to the marshal's office, and they go to the computer lab where they both have worked and are familiar. Um, although um, Shank's Shank's setup is a little more for analyzing this kind of stuff because the type of work he does versus what Rizzo does. So they put that in there, and do they find anything? That is the question. And I think in this, since it is kind of solo, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have him make an investigate roll. And because he has an assistant and because he has a pretty good setup, I mean, he's actually like in a crime lab with that's going to have analytical um, software, things like that. I'm going to go ahead and give him a +1 DM on that roll. We'll get here. All right. Well, I'm not sure why that says 0, but it's a 9. So really, it should be 9, 10, 11. Oh, 13. So that's good. So they definitely find something, some kind of hint, some kind of clue. Let's take a look at see if there's any kind of clue tables. I'm not sure that there is. Urban encounters. All right, so nothing at least in this particular part. Let's see if there's anything here. No. So instead, let's go ahead and let's see if we can get something out of our inspiration tables. 6'4". So the clue, um, I'll say this is personnel. Yeah, we'll say this is personnel. 6'4", personnel clue. Game over, man. Okay. Um, so there's a game over man clue. Game over, man. Game over. And let's see. So game over, and let's mix that with a maybe with an action table. Let's see if maybe there's something that he did. 5, 6. Learn. So he learned game over, man. Let me pause while I give that a little ponder. All right. Well, I'll admit I kind of had to I kind of had to struggle with that one, but actually it turned out pretty well. So as they're the guy is wearing a kind of your standard police uniform, patrol beat cop type uniform. He's got the long sleeves on it, and as he's walking along, as they're viewing the footage from different angles, there's one clip where he turns and he looks at his watch. He pulls his arm out, and as he does, the sleeve comes up and it reveals a tattoo. And Rizzo actually recognizes the tattoo, and he says, "Hey, I know that one. Yeah, that's a Marine tattoo. That's what some of those guys on um, Tau Ceti. Yeah, it's like I know a bunch of guys who survived this one battle. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, but I remember reading about it. Um, you know, but yeah, that's definitely what that is. That guy's some ex-Marine or something. Oh, great. So we've got a jarhead assassin killing people in NYPD. I wonder if this other guy was. And so he flips. He starts pulling up the autopsy remarks from the guy who got shot in the jail. And I'm going to say on a 4, 5, or 6, he has the same tattoo or another identifying tattoo that would link the two. Okay, so no, he doesn't. All right. So somehow, possibly, then maybe there's two groups coming together, and instead of it may still be like some kind of internal cleanup. Not everybody, obviously, in some kind of criminal syndicate are going to have the same background. But I thought it might be an interesting tie-in. All right, good job, kid. All right, I want you to go ahead and find out. You know what it's about. You go ahead and find out. Uh, get everything you can on whoever was in that fight, and may have gotten that tattoos. Probably not everyone got them, but pull what you can. I'm on it, and now feeling better, feeling that that he's helped and he's done something. Rizzo goes off, and well, it doesn't go off. He stays there at his own at the terminal next to next door that they're working on. So we've analyzed the film footage. Let's see, and let's see. We found that the attacker had USMC tattoo from event on Tau Ceti. I'll figure out what that is later, fill in the details later. And the murder victim, no tattoo yet. All right, so while he's doing that, while Rizzo's doing that, um, Shank is going to take a look at. Uh, he's going to pull the logs in the autopsy report since he has it up already, and go through everything he can find about this guy. Um, oh yeah, I forgot. I don't need to actually. I'm so used to using the roll 20 dice. I forgot to use my fancy schmancy dice. Well, they're not fancy schmancy. Whoa. Had me a little camera fail there. um, anyway, so I forgot that I was rolling in here. So used to it. But that's all right. That's all right. It was still a good roll. It was 13. All right, so does he find anything useful on the body? So first thing, of course, he's going to try to do is verify the guy's identity, and then they can start digging in. Uh, are they able to find out who it is, or is it hidden identity? The higher the roll, the more, I guess, secretive this guy's identity will be. 6. Okay, so this guy who actually killed the councilman, he's like in uh full witness protection type stuff, fake IDs, everything. Um so they're going to have to figure out who he is before they can do any more investigating into him. I'm going to give him another investigation roll as he uses his various tools. So let's see. So a total of +3. I say because the guy is such, I mean, in obvious um, cover, everything is hidden. So probably you're not going to find your typical tax records or whatever they would normally find someone else. I'm going to apply a -2 DM to the investigation roll, and this is just like the preliminary. This is from the autopsy, the things that he might find. So he's only going to get his +1. He's going to get a +1. 7, barely. So 8. That's enough to find. Let's see what kind of hint does he find on the body. I'm going to use my TriCube Tales table here. The new one has like a crime and mysteries one, and there's a crime scene clues chart. I'm going to use it. See if there's something that helps. Okay, it was 6 and a 6. A weapon or a tool. All right, so to me that tells me that there was something very very identifiable, very specific, say, about the weapon or tool being used. All right, on a 4, 5, or 6, it's about the knife that he killed Martinez with, and the one that he tried to kill Shank with. 4, 5, or 6. Otherwise, it's some other kind of tool that they found, and we'll figure out what that is that they found on his body. Okay, so some kind of tool on his body, and I actually have another table. Use that for some inspiration. Let's see. This says this table here has it's like arcane items, but it has slash, like for typical stuff too. So 3 and a 1, a gem or a crystal. Interesting. So on the body, on the autopsy, they found that he had a crystal And I'm going to head back to our tables here. I think I'm going to use theme. See what the theme of this crystal is as an inspiration. All right, 1-5 balance. All right, so that balance, so that kind of puts me in mind of maybe like a, like some kind of yoga-y guru kind of crystal. So it has some kind of, it's like a spiritual, something spiritual, something that, belongs to some sect or cult, maybe. That's interesting. So I think we'll go with that. And a meditation crystal. And just because of the roles and everything, it's not going to be, there's going to be something specific about it, something that gives an actual clue. It's not going to be something you can go buy at your corner head shop or whatever. Um, and it's associated with, and one more time, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this my TriCube Tails charts for, what was I doing? Oh yeah, for the well, I forgot what I forgot what I was looking up to see. Oh yeah, yeah. I was just looking up a name. I was going to make up a random name for this cult, and I've got a one of these has a like a name table on it. Oh, here we go. All right, so the fictional name of, we'll say this movement is called 5-5 Tan 4-4. Tanique or Tanord. I'll go with Tanique. Tannique movement. All right, and then we'll figure out what that movement is later on. And so they spend the morning up till lunchtime, pulling all these records, several hours, lots of coffee. Still no smoke for Shank, even though he really wants one. And blessedly, Kathy is not part of the computers area, so she doesn't get to come in and harass them during the day. But so they're nice and quiet. There's more chit chat. There's phone calls. Of course, Chief Dana Jones is constantly on the phone wanting updates. Where are you at? What'd you find? Why are you still sitting on your ass in the computer lab? That kind of thing. And when they can no longer avoid, when they can no longer avoid going out, once they have found everything they can concerning these two things, um, and uh, we'll put everything. I'll kind of do like that as a final like get together when they're explaining everything to the chief, maybe at the end of the day, assuming they survive. Now they're going to go investigate the hazmat person who took custody, and that person is Patricia Duffy. Let's see. We'll say that she probably was the ranking um, hazmat officer on scene, and she's also the one that took it. All right, save changes. Now I was flipping through my hostile solo, and where did I see that? There was a. Was it? It was a. What's the table? A random bad thing that happens. What do they call that? Um, Not the looming crisis. Oh, complication. That's what it was. There's a complication table, I think. Okay, so maybe I was just seeing that on the Marine. Let's take a quick look, see if there's a complication table here. There's colonial mission complication. Let's see. All right, so not what the not what I was thinking of, or what I was thinking of, but it was for a different solo campaign type. Okay. All right, so I think we're at right at 50 minutes. As they head out, they stop by um, uh, the local Kanako stand and get some noodles. On their way out, they hop in just a regular patrol cruiser this time because where this person works, she's not. They don't have say like a place like the NYPD to land spinners necessarily. So they hop in, the kid drives, and as they make their way through the crowded, junk strewn, filthy city streets, they head on. And we will stop it right there and pick up next time as we investigate. Old Patricia Duffy. See if anything suspicious has happened there. All right. Thanks for coming along and happy gaming.